AI fans know all about Midjourney, but for those who are just getting into the game, or maybe not quite sure about all the tools out there, today we're going to take you on a journey with Midjourney. It's demo day right here on Expert Connections. Welcome to Expert Connections. I'm Julie Holton. Today it's demo day. We are demoing another AI tool for graphic design. Joining me is David Smith, co-founder of Amplify Labs AI, and Alexis Neumann. She is a marketing strategist and graphic designer at mConnexions. Welcome to the show, both of you. Glad to have you back.
Thanks for having us.
It was so fun having you both on for the last demo where we looked at Adobe Photoshop's AI tools that I wanted to have you back. Alexis, you have never used the platform that Dave is going to be showing us today. So we will be seeing and hearing your comments and reactions in real time. Dave, on deck today is Midjourney. Tell us first, what is Midjourney?
Okay, Midjourney. So I think everybody at this point, maybe not everybody, but most people have heard of generative AI. And usually when they're talking about that, they're talking about this tool, Midjourney or DALL-E or Stable Diffusion. But Midjourney is really, above the rest. So if you're seeing really good images that have been generated, it's probably been through this tool, Midjourney. But
okay, so when you're talking about generative AI, specifically those tools or those platforms, you're talking about the image generation being created by AI. So
creating brand new images.
And I see you've got some images here of a muscle man on our screen. What are we looking at?
Yeah, well, so yeah, this is just my, my playground here. But one of the things that I think a lot of people want to do with images is, put their own face on them. And so I've been, kind of exploring that. And I want to show, a dramatic difference where you could probably tell from me, I'm not this muscle bound guy, but, I'm trying to, really show this one. You can see,
what? That's not you.
That's not me. And that's exactly what I want to show people is, hey, that's not me. And so, I went with the muscle bound instead of the other way.
It certainly looks like you, though. I mean, if we look at that, the way the facial features look like you. Okay. What are you going to show us though? How did you use Midjourney to create this?
That's the thing we'll have to show a different time. But so this is the original face here, and you can see that it changed from that face to this face. So that'd be for a future demo. But so what I'm going to show you is Midjourney.
All right, so we'll stay tuned for that one. If we want to see Dave on a muscle bod, then we'll tune in for round 2.
If you wait long enough, I might have one in real life. But, hey, that's not a joke.
Oh yeah, very serious.
So people have maybe used Slack or other communication tools. This tool only works in Discord right now, and it's got a funny way to start the tool where you say you imagine something. So maybe let's imagine like a unicorn on a bright, sunny day in front of a castle, and we'll just put that in there. And so this Midjourney bot is going to go to work creating this picture of a unicorn on a bright sunny day in front of a castle, and it shows as it's working. It kind of shows a little bit through the process. And in a few seconds here, we will see what it came up with. You can kind of see the
like our blurry sneak preview here.
It's like watching someone paint on a canvas. It's like, starting from scratch and then getting clearer.
I think it's like
how long does it typically take for one of these images to come through? And I see it's developing 4 at once. Is that something you've set it up to do, or is that something that Midjourney does?
It does it like that, and then you can. I'll show you, but it'll give you a few options when it's done, and we can make them bigger or tweak them. So we can see here it came up with 4 different options. And that's one cool thing about these generative tools is that they're creative. So we've got this one where there's kind of some action going on, and this one's kind of chill here. This one's got 2 horns, so you can see sometimes I screw up. But so let's do a couple things with this first one here. So we've got some buttons down here, and the U is for upscale, so that's to make it bigger, and then V is for variations. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll do variations on one. And so it'll just change number one just a little bit and give us four different variations. And then we'll upscale one of those so we can see how it can make them bigger.
So Dave, out of curiosity, when this is creating these images, is this tool pulling these graphics or inspiration from other existing images and combining them in a way that they haven't been combined yet? Where is this tool getting the elements of this image to put the whole image together?
So that's a great question. This thing was trained on a whole ton of images, probably millions, tens of millions. I'm not sure. Midjourney, as far as I know, their company hasn't talked about where all these images came from, but one would imagine that they took images from the web, as many as they could get, and then labeled them, and then shoved it into the computer so the computer could understand, here's what a unicorn is, here's what a castle is, those kinds of things. And that's a good point, Alexis, because there's I think a lawsuit specifically with Midjourney about where did these images come from, and if they took an image from Alexis or from mConnexions, are there royalties due to the owners of those images that they used? But for now, other people can worry
We'll
about
leave that
stuff.
for our legal segment. That's a
Yeah.
great question for Taylor Gass to, and that's something that he talks about in our legal segments is, the copyrights and trademarks for anything created by any, generative tools. So, okay, Dave, you have made some variations off of the first image that we were given. Talk us through what has happened since you clicked those few buttons.
Yep. So it made 4 variations, and then I picked this 4th one here, and I said to upscale that one. And instead, we've got a nice big unicorn in front of the castle there that we could use for like a blog post or something like that. And then I want to show another little tweak on this. So this is ChatGPT 4, and this will help us generate text. And it has a plugin, and there's a photography plugin that we'll make sure is checked. Photorealistic. That's the plugin that we want checked. And so what we'll do with this is say, we'll paste in our prompt over here, and we'll just put photo at the front. And what this is going to do is, because I'm not a creative person, I'm more of a tech person, this thing will have ChatGPT using one of their plugins, one of their new features there, come up with a prompt, and we'll see what kind of image that generates. So here, ChatGPT's been a little slow today, but it's kicking us out a prompt, and then when it's done, we'll copy and paste that into Midjourney, and you can see here it's specifying the camera type.
Wow.
Which is a pro tip for Midjourney, is to specify what kind of camera captured that photo. So then for creative people, they can understand the different capacities the cameras have to create the shot that they want. And then it's also putting some parameters in here, like the aspect ratio. This is the version, and I'm not sure exactly what these things are, but we don't need to worry about that. We'll just copy it and then go back to Discord and do our Imagine, and then we'll paste it in there. And then while that's working, which actually, Julie, when you asked how long these take, I don't really know how long they take, because usually I just say, go do it, and then I go do something else while the computer's working. And so then while that one's working, I'm going to grab this prompt. See, and isn't GPT nice at the end? Thank you for your time. Looking forward to the magical scenes you create. And that's some of the magic.
So in Midjourney, you can have multiple images being generated at the same time.
Yeah. I think it'll do 3, and then it can have like a queue going, and then there's different plans with different limits. So I think my plan's like $10 or $12 a month, something like that. And I think it's like 200 hours of compute. And so maybe I can do like, I don't know if it's 200 images per month or something like that.
So you do have to pay for this plugin, for the Midjourney bot plugin for Discord.
Yes. So these, I don't know what you guys think, if these unicorns are better than the other ones. Actually, this one here on the left, the bottom left one does look pretty
That one looks more realistic. I really thought with all of those camera specifications that we were going to get some, really high caliber, realistic looking image. So interesting that the other three still look pretty cartoonish in comparison.
Yeah, and I haven't played around with this plugin a whole lot. Before that, I had a prompt I would copy and paste in, and it was more photorealistic, and it had a different light settings, like it might be foggy or it might be in the morning. But with that one, Julie, I gotta copy and paste a prompt. With this one, I can just turn on the plugin and just go. But it's interesting to play around with these tools and to really work on that prompting. And oh my gosh, look at this one. This one's like Lego.
I was just gonna say, I'm not sure what happened to your unicorn in that one.
Now, Alexis, I want to hear from you. What are some use cases that come to mind as you're seeing Dave kind of play around and show us this tool through Midjourney? What kind of like real life marketing use cases can you think of for this?
Yeah, that's a great question. So one of the things I know, I'll use mConnexions as an example. For each of our blogs, we create just a banner image. And we have a certain style that we create those banner images from, but I could see the use for something like this in a blog or in an email where you want to create a photo of someone doing something really specific. And there might not necessarily be a photo of a person who looks like what you want them to look like, doing the action that you want them to do in the setting that you want them to do it in. That photo just might not exist. You might not be able to find.
And how many hours do you spend
going through
stock
images
and
yes,
or trying to recreate or push a couple images together in Photoshop or something?
Right. So that I could see that being a really helpful tool if you can get the graphic to look right. Is okay, I want a photo of a redheaded woman sitting on a beach with a laptop, and I want the laptop to have Photoshop open on it. I could create that photo myself, but I'd have to pull from a lot of different places, and I'd have to spend a lot of time doing that. I could see something like this being a great tool to generate very specific, unique images of certain settings or certain individuals or certain actions.
Yeah, I love that. And Dave, thank you. Dave typed that in while you were
Thanks.
talking. A redheaded woman sitting on a beach with a laptop, and the laptop has Photoshop on it. We'll see as that comes into focus. I also tend to think, Alexis, sometimes when we're advising clients who use stock photos, because custom photography can be cost, prohibitive sometimes. We talk about different stylistic elements to make those stock images feel more like your own brand. And so I wonder if that could be another use case for this. Once you develop a photo like the guy sitting on the moon, Dave, I wonder, could it also then take one of those images and change the coloring of it, or put in a red shadow or something? Like, are there different stylistic things that we can do once an image is created?
So this tool is not good at changing the images after the fact. Photoshop, like we showed before, can do that. Or there's a tool from Google called Dolly, where maybe you can select the woman's hair and make it purple, or do some of those changes. But yeah, this tool is more for generating new images. It does have a feature where you can reference an image to change it, but I haven't actually played with that much. And there's also like a blend where you can take two images and put them together, but I also haven't played with that either. So there's a lot more that this tool can do that I'm unfamiliar with.
And also interesting that, with every tool that we demo, we see some limitations. For instance, we had requested that the computer have Photoshop on it. Instead, we don't see the screen in these images. So if that's something that you very specifically needed, was to be able to see what's on the laptop screen, in this case, this would have been a fail. Although we do have the redheaded woman sitting on the beach with the laptop. So close, but not quite everything we had asked for.
Yeah. Interesting to me too, just in that image that you selected. I'm glad you picked that one, Dave, because it's actually, I think it's so interesting that they picked a particular computer type, that's a MacBook, and that they actually put that logo on it. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. And this is a tip I learned recently where you can copy that link on Discord. So then if you want to reference the image in one of your prompts, then you can do that, which is helpful for some of the functions in Midjourney. For any viewers who want to go deeper on it, that's a pro tip there.
I love it. Alexis and Dave, thank you so much for being on the show today. We're gonna keep playing around with this tool and give you more as Midjourney continues to develop. For now, we are out of time. So thank you both again for being on the show. Make sure to check out our full AI playlist for our AI Connections segments. That's all. We'll see you next time.